نعم المولى ونعم النصير. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد. ما صلى الله وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين، سيما بقية الله الأعظم روحي وأرواح العالمين له الفداء. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. We are starting a new subject, and the next 3 weeks I won't be here, so we will do it online. Next 3 weeks we'll inshallah continue the subject, and it will be something that's very pertinent, and inshallah I'll open it up today so that we can see how and where it fits in our life. All right, I'll start off with a salawat again. One of the primary inclination that man has and that human beings have is the inclination or the tendency or the desire for comfort. We want to be comfortable. This is a natural desire that we have. It's an inclination that is natural in us, to be comfortable and to want comfort. And this is the first desire that we have, is to be comfortable and find comfort in our life. And it's not just the first one, but it's also the most important desire that we have. The most important inclination is to be comfortable, to find comfort. Now, sometimes we are ready to sacrifice our comfort because of external factors, like external things that, for example, good or bad, for good reason or bad reason, we are ready to sacrifice our comfort. Like, for example, faith, Iman, Aqidah, is a cause for many people to go through discomfort in their lives because they have faith. For example, you'll make yourself go through discomfort. You fast in Ramadan, go hungry. Why are you doing that? Because of faith. You have faith in that. And because of faith, you see that it makes you do things that are uncomfortable for you. It's a good reason. No, you have bad reasons for that also. Like, for example, addiction. People are addicted to drugs, and you'll see that they will go through discomfort in their lives. They'll put themselves through trouble and pain to fulfill their addiction. This is a bad reason. But if you take the external factors out, by ourselves and instinctively, we want comfort. This is a natural desire in us. Allah made it that way. It is a desire, and it's a very powerful desire also. It is a very powerful desire. Seeking pleasure, carnal desires, name, reputation, izzat, all of these things are secondary. If you don't have comfort, these have no meaning. You don't want to fulfill your carnal desire if you are in discomfort or in pain. You know, you don't want, you're not thinking about having a good reputation when you're in pain, right? Or when you're in discomfort, when you're not in your comfort zone. The primary desire is comfort. Think about it in your own self. It is comfort. I'll explain this to you in detail as I'm opening the subject so you know what we are talking about. Salawat ala Muhammad wa alihi Muhammad. Now, someone who knows how to deal with the issue of comfort in his life, he will be able to deal with all other desires. Any other desire that you have that is harmful for you or difficult for you, you'll be able to deal with that if you can deal with the issue of comfort in your life. If you can't deal with the issue of comfort or the desire of comfort, then the other desires will overwhelm you, will destroy you. They will take you down. Human beings, they get devastated by desires. Why? Because they don't know how to manage comfort in their lives. They don't know how to manage the pain in their life. That's why you get overwhelmed with desires. Desires can, easily overwhelm you. People, for example, when you see them sin and do guna, it's because they don't know how to deal with the pain of their situation, the discomfort that they're in. And this desire for comfort has overtaken them, overwhelmed them. Parents complain about children doing haram things. Children, so easily they're into haram things and they get lost or they go astray, so easily. Why is it? Well, because they have never learned how to deal with pain in their life. They don't know how to deal with pain. They're so afraid of it. They're so afraid of being uncomfortable that they then get drowned by desires. They're trying to escape that. This desire has overwhelmed them. That's why you end up going into this whole field of that, because you don't know how to deal with it. La ilaha illallah. They become the slaves of comfort. I want like aram, rahat, comfort. That's the main issue in their life, in everyone's life nowadays. When you look at a newborn baby, when a baby is born, why is it crying? Is it crying because it's hungry? You think a child understands what's hunger? That I don't have food, they need to give me food, He doesn't know what hunger is. He doesn't know what food is. All it knows is that I am uncomfortable. I am in pain. It understands pain. It understands discomfort. For whatever it's spoiled its diaper. It feels uncomfortable. It feels the pain, and hence, you see, it starts crying. He doesn't know that there's, my diaper is spoiled. He doesn't know those things. But what it happens is that they end up doing what? They just understand that there's pain. Pain is the most primary and the first desire and inclination that a man has. And if he cannot deal with that, then all the other inclinations and desires will overwhelm his life and devastate him. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Now the question is, do you think that it's easy to deal with this issue? You think it's easy to deal with pain and discomfort in our life? And really try to think about this, because this is where we are going to go headed towards. The idea is pain management. How do you manage this pain? How do you manage this inclination of seeking comfort? And how do you make sure that that doesn't destroy you? That doesn't, fill you up. People break down so easily in front of this. So easily they break down. They might be good in everything. Nowadays you see a lot of people, for example, they want to learn Islam. They want to learn Islam. They want to do this, and they come here and learn, and they go to majlis, and online class, whatever they do, they learn these things to become an expert in their deen and this and that. But you know what happens if they don't manage pain in their life, if they don't manage comfort in their life, this issue, then that deen will not serve Allah, doesn't serve the truth. All it serves is their own desires. This deen ends up becoming the slave of them, not Allah. They become the slave of themselves, not Allah. And if a person goes on learning and becoming these things, and that's what happens. I mean, I'm not just talking about people here, I'm talking about even, Hausa and people who are becoming ulama, studying. If they don't deal with the issue of pain in their life and the comfort in their life, then these people who are learning Islam will become the best enemy of Islam. These ulama will become the greatest enemy of Islam. Because that deen that they have is not serving Allah, it is serving themselves, serving their desires. They will break down in front of it. And they will harm anything that comes in the way in order to fulfill in their own service. This is the danger. So even learning religion is useless if we do not know how to manage pain in our life. What do we do to manage that pain in our life? Subhanallah. And here in America, the reason it's important is because we who have come from different backgrounds and all these things to seek a better life here, a lot of times unintentionally and inadvertently are creating a whole atmosphere, an environment, an arena, a turf for this desire to flourish in our children. We want to become rich and affluent to do what? So we can give these children all the comforts that they get spoiled in that and become so weak that they are unable to withstand any pressure from their desires. Nothing. Like, garbage, no backbone. Finish. Why? Because that was their intention, to, give them a good life. Who told you to give them a good life? Where did that objective come from? Where did this idea come from that we need to give them an easy and good life that we didn't have growing up in, Pakistan and this and that, And we are so afraid of Pakistan now, of Lahore now, as one of the brothers, I remember, American brother was giving a speech that said, that, listen, Lahore is not hell. Why are you so afraid to go back there? People are so afraid to go back there that they're willing to compromise their deen and everything just to imagine that I'm going to end up back there. Where did we get these ideas from? That we need to have a good life here, that we need to give a good life to our children. Where are these ideas? All this is doing is making them weak in front of their desires, unable to withstand any desire that they have. It just overwhelms them, knocks them down, devastates them. There is no way that they can stand up for anything good in life. This is it's a mistake that we are making, huge mistake that we're doing with our children. And it is really harmful for us and them that we are creating this environment for them. That, they have all the comfort. Why do they have all the comfort for? Is that a good thing? How did we take? This is why they never learned how to deal with the issue of comfort in their life. They never knew how to stand up to it, how to, go and manage the pain that they have. They're so afraid. We are so afraid of pain that we are willing to sacrifice anything for that. So a person like this, yes, he can become a student. He can never become a scholar. Maybe he might be a Muslim in label, but a person like this can never reach Karbala. Can never be with Imam Hussein. People who are there were not there because it was comfortable. People who are there were there because, it was uncomfortable and it was painful. And they knew how to manage it. They knew how to manage the pain, and hence they were able to stand up and stand with Imam Hussein. So if we are expecting that, we or our children will be amongst the 313, we're living in a delusional reality. That's not going to happen if, we are not able to deal with the issue of pain and discomfort in our life. And that is the subject. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. And unfortunately, that's how our deen and Islam has become also. We are more about learning Islam than being trained. Yes, we want to learn. We want to get degrees and this and that. But Islam is not about learning. It's about tarbiyat. Tarbiyat and training. Now, tarbiyat requires going through discomfort. Everyone wants an online course where they can sit at home, eat popcorn while they're learning. So they're just replacing, some other entertainment movie or something with an Islamic class and thinking that this is something good. This is worse than that. You better just go back to that. Well, the important thing about learning is the tarbiyat in it. That's why, you don't have a hawza that's online. And there are nowadays, but that defeats the whole purpose. Whole purpose is that you need to come and sit in front of a teacher and be disciplined. That's the whole idea first. If you just want information, then Haydar AI is, there for you. Artificial intelligence is there for you, It'll answer all the questions. It'll give you all the answers. But that's not making you good. Information is not going to make you good. This knowledge like that is not going to make you good. What's going to make you good is for you to make the sacrifice, to make you to manage the pain and discomfort. And once you are able to stand up to that inclination that you have, that's natural inside of you, then yes, then you're capable of growing and gaining that light that is there in knowledge. Otherwise, knowledge will become dark. It'll make you dark. Our ulama, who know better, say that knowledge will just make a hijab in front of you from Allah. The more knowledgeable you become, big guy, 20 years in the hawza, all these things. And you see that he doesn't even understand the basics of things. Why? Because of the fact that he hasn't learned how to deal with pain in his life, how to deal with disinclination in his life. How do you do that? If we are just looking for comfort all the time, man, I need to go home and relax. And it's so important for us that we're willing to go to as long as there's relaxation at the end. But what if there isn't? That's why when Allah speaks about hell, He says there's no respite. There's no relaxation. That's it. Constant pain. Constant pain. Alhamdulillah, in this dunya, there's pain and there's relaxation. It comes in, spurts like that. Thing at a time. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. One of the reasons why many people's lives are miserable, look at the people. Really, America is an affluent society. You know, we have money, we have access to many things here and all these things, but people are miserable. People are miserable. They're trying to get away from this misery, you know, and you all have your share of, I don't know, psychiatrists and all that, you know. You can ask them how many people are depressed and taking, you know, pills for antidepressants and all of these things in society. Now, why? I thought that this was a good thing, you know, that you are able to, you know, live a good life here. Apparently, it seems that their lives are miserable. Really miserable. And the reason they're living miserable lives with all the things that they have is they're unable to deal with the issue of pain and discomfort in their lives. So we want to know this, right? How do you deal with this pain? How do you deal with this issue? And it's a very important issue that we need to go through. Subhanallah. Send salawats. You know, if you look at it, I'll just give an example, you know, for today, you know, and you understand this. Our growth, our development, you know, whatever it is, right? Look at this. It's amazing, you know, how Allah made the infrastructure of this life in this world. Really. You know, what is the age of bulugh? You know, in, yeah, well, different. Okay, girls are 9 years old. Boys, at the most 15, right? Now, if you look at it, right, being baligh here, it's amazing, right? Look at this infrastructure. It's so beautiful, right, how Allah made this. You know, Allah made these kids baligh, but not mature. Look at this. At 9, right, which girl is mature? Right? But He gave them responsibilities. At 15, which boy is mature? They're just playing games, you know. It's time for prayer. Okay, you know. Yeah. They have no clue what's going on, you know. They're like in their own, lost in their world, whatever's going on. You know, I mean, at 9, 15, they're not mature enough to know their responsibilities or obligations. But Allah gave them obligations. Allah gave them these obligations. Oh, do all these things. Everything is wajib on you. All the haram on you. All the wajib is wajib on you. So wouldn't it have been better, with our logic I'm saying, wouldn't it have been better if Allah delayed the age of bulugh till they're like 25? There was no rush, right? Allah, you know, make it when they're 25, they'll be more mature enough to know what's wajib and to be responsible, you know, to do what's there for them, this and that. Wouldn't that be the case? But see the structure Allah made. He says, in between the time they become baligh and the time they become mature, 10 years difference. Allah just delayed 10 years. It will be so much easier for parents. It will be so much easier for us to do that. But you know what? The struggle between the age of bulugh, that Allah put all the wajib, and them becoming mature, and the struggle they have to go through is where they grow and develop and become human beings. It is the struggle. The tarbiyat happens in this pain, this growing up pain, this growing pains. Allah made it by design. Structure is made by design. In order that there is this pain that we go through, they learn how to deal with pain in life, how to deal with discomfort in their life. On one hand, you have all the desires, and on the other hand, you have all these obligations and no maturity to deal with it. You're struggling. Youth is a time of struggle. Young life is a time of struggle, and you are struggling that Allah wanted that. Because it's in that struggle and in that pain where He's going to grow, where that maturity is going to come. This is the structure that Allah made, and that's why it's so beautiful. When you're learning it, dealing with this pain is something that we all want. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala.
It also tells that action is more
Well, actions, again,
Going through the pain rather than the knowledge is also important, but during this period they are doing more struggle and action. Amal is
yeah, actions, but without meaning for them.
right. That's what.
See, we now understand there's akhirat, and we're like, okay, you know what? If I don't do it, Allah's going to slap me in the face, you know? Something so bad's going to happen. So we have an understanding, right? So our dealing is through that wisdom we gain in life, and now we have experience with that. They have to pray without having any understanding. So it's painful for them to pray.
But the concept is that usually we should first learn everything and then we should do everything. That's not right.
Yeah, of course. I mean, listen, the minute you learn something, it should be a part of your life. Right? There's no such thing as, okay, let me do PhD first and then inshallah I'll start practicing. So it doesn't work like that. You know this wajib, you do it. Finish. You got this knowledge, wherever you get it from. Put it in your life. Practice it. Do this, you know. So what happened is that the idea that we're talking about right now is, you know, like there's pain in our life. Everyone has pain. Everyone has discomfort. And we are so afraid of it that we are ready to compromise our deen because of that. We are ready to sell ourselves to Satan and Shaitan because of that. How can we not do that? How can we make ourselves know how to manage this pain in our life and live with that pain? And not just live, by the time you get into it, you should enjoy the pain. You know, pain should be an enjoyable thing in your life. You know, when you actually start enjoying it, then it means that you are able to deal with it. If you're just tolerating it, you're not dealing with pain. Eventually, pain is going to win, you're going to lose. Eventually, that'll happen. You have to reach a point of management that you can enjoy pain. That you are like, wow, I want pain. You know, I like it. That's why it said that on the day of Ashura, as the day progressed and more of Imam Hussein's friends and children were killed, Imam Hussein was enjoying more. They saw him smiling more, like as if he's like enjoying every minute of this. You know, this is how you manage. That's where you have to reach in your life, where you can conquer it. Because it's a natural instinct in you. It won't go away. The pain, the fear of discomfort and pain is there for us. But we need to know how to deal with it. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Yes. So, just one more thing I'll say, and that's it. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. You know, this is something, you know, like the fear of pain. For us, it's important to learn how to manage it, especially in America, right? Especially in America, because life here, or the American dream, and all that illusions that America gives us, right, is like so much against our growth and stunts our growth. You know, that because it wants you to be comfortable. Everything around us, you'll see everyone is like talking and hyping it up so much that we get caught in that environment. And I just want to relax, you know, I just want a vacation, I just want the weekend to come. Why? Why do you want the weekend to come? I'm just tired. Why are you feeling this? And this is what happens, you know. So this issue of pain, I want you to, the reason we are talking about this is because it is the one thing that can devastate our faith easily. It easily destroys. Good religious people who are practicing people, you will see that in a minute, their desires are able to overwhelm them. And that's it, they're gone. And then they're wondering, what happened? I thought I was good. I went for ziyarat and came back and boom. my desires just overwhelmed me. How did that happen? Well, the reason it happened is because you are unable to deal with the issue of comfort in your life. That's why. Doesn't matter how many ziyarat you go to, how many hajj you go to, how many, all of these things, whatever you do. It doesn't matter. Because you are still weak in front of pain. Shaitan can come in a second and just, and then you see like, finish. You're devastated. And you're like, what do we do? Become hopeless. So these are all symptoms of the fact that we are unable to deal with the desire of comfort and that pain, and we haven't learned to manage pain in our life. And that's what we want to discuss, inshallah, in these days to come. I will stop over here, and inshallah, from next week, as I said, we will do it online, and I'll have, go into more in then. I just wanted to give you the theme of our discussion, inshallah, and this will move forward. All right. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala. All right. Any questions?
First question, I have a comment.
Yeah.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, verily with every difficulty has ease. So he could have easily said that. You are obedient, you're God-fearing, you're just having good ease. But he gives the precondition of ease as difficulties first.
Well, the idea is that difficulties, right? The way that Allah made everything in this life, He made it so that there is difficulties. There's that. Now, the problem with difficulties is that how do we view them? How do we view difficulties? Ease will come when you can deal with difficulties. Otherwise, there's no ease. There's no ease. If you're just like being overwhelmed by difficulties, you will get more difficulties later. And then you end up in hell. You end up in hell. You went through difficulties here, you get difficulties there. The whole idea is, how do I deal with those difficulties? However, I mean, he dealt with it. He had a reasoning. Allah gave him a reasoning. That was his guidance. That was his light. And he used that in order to go through the pain and learn how to enjoy it. Luqman, he learned how to enjoy pain in the service of Allah. He learned how to do that. You know about his story, right? Luqman's story, how he was a slave and, slave master, and, like he asked to be, like the slave master was in financial difficulty, and then Luqman was a slave, and Luqman said, why don't you sell me, and get money for me, he says, what are you worth? You're not even worth anything. He was middle-aged and all that, right? So he says, no, I'm worth a lot. You put a exorbitant price in the market, slave market. Just, like, $50 million, when everyone else is $500. So he put an exorbitant price there for the slave in the slave market. So now everyone started asking, why is he worth that much? What does he have? That's what, is he able to turn dirt into gold, Why so expensive, And the king, right, he caught his attention, He's like, really? He's worth that much? Why is he worth that much for, So the king came out of curiosity and came in, why is he worth that much? And Luqman said, well, you buy me and you'll know. So I said, all right, you know what? I've tried everything else. I'm going to try this also. Right? And he bought him. And so his owner got the money, and so owner is happy now. He got his big money and this and that. And the king said, okay, what is about you? He says, I know how to be a slave. I know how to be a slave. And so, the story goes like this. The king, had him like whipped, and whipped, and at the end, he would kiss the whip and the hand of the person who's whipping, you know. And he was like shocked about this. He says, slave is someone who's whipped and hurt and put through hardship, and he loves the master who's doing this to him. This is called a slave, abd. Right? So the idea is that, when you learn how to deal with pain in life, that's when actual growth happens in you. Your prayer becomes meaningful. All of these things. But if you don't know how to deal with pain, then whatever you're doing, you're just like vulnerable to shaitan. In 1 second, he can destroy you. 1 second. He'll put that fear in your heart, and you're like, okay, you know what? That's my limit. That's all I can do. I can't do more than that. Because we haven't learned how to do that yet. And that's what we want to do, inshallah. Anything else, inshallah? This week, as I said, next 3 weeks I won't be here in the weekends, but we'll have online Sundays and others. 9. Yeah, that's fine. Saudi is like, there's no time there. Yeah, everyone's like, whoa. At night, it just goes by. In the morning, you go to sleep after Fajr. That's how it is there. Yeah, inshallah, Inshallah. Sallallahu alaihi wa sallam.